And we're live. Grab the link really quick. Hey Jason and Michael, how you doing? Looks like you guys are the first ones here. Hey Byron. Byron, the star of our most recent review. There we go. Okay. All right, done with that. Oh wow, a whole bunch of people showed up. Hey Gaz, Michael, Project Dark Corp, Jeremy, hello Peter, the Orderly Alley Viper. Hey, that's a good name considering the most recent review. Core Collector, how do you do? JC, Bradley, Chris, you guys are going too fast. It's really good to have you guys here. Jace Traber, hello, and Hoodmeister is a perfectly fine name, I'll take that. Painted Plastic, hi, nice to see you. Gemini, thanks. You like it? It's my Viper Glider shirt. Thanks, Bishop. Yeah, the Alley Viper review. Yeah, I do want to talk about the Alley Viper review because it's been doing really well. And thanks again to Byron for helping with that. Also, I have stuff. I have stuff to show you. I have new stuff, at least new to me stuff. So, excuse me, we'll have some stuff to talk about tonight. It'll be cool. Hi, Jason and Solid. Beta Ray Bob, nice to see you. Yeah, so cool. Chris and Robert. Wow, we've got the gang's all here. Hi, Green Yeti. Nice to see you. Midrange says Alley Viper is cool. I don't care what people say. And that's fine. Actually, that's good. If you like him, then it shouldn't matter what other people say. You know, think for yourself. Be independent. You know, have your own reasons, you know. Anyway, hey, Benny. Thanks. I'm doing pretty good. Core Collector says, quick question. Do you have or will you review 1992 Ace? I will review that figure. I don't have that figure yet. I was actually just looking at that figure, what day is today? Oh, Sunday, so 2 days ago. But I haven't bought one yet. I'll get one, but I haven't reviewed it yet. There are a couple later Ace figures that I'd really like to look at. I just haven't got around to them yet. So, yeah, the short answer is yeah, I will eventually get to them. David Sharp says it's the Hoodie Coco Show, starring me. All right, cool. Okay, all right, excellent. So it looks like we got a few people here. That's awesome. Awesome. Hello, Yvonne. Review G.I. Joe's Stars and Stripes Forever. Now that would be interesting. The set that they came out with, the Stars and Stripes set. I'm trying to read you guys in the chat as fast as I can, but my eyes don't move that fast. Mid-range asks if I've ever damaged anything while doing a review. Once, one time. And it wasn't technically during the review. It was actually sort of after the review. After I reviewed Hit and Run, I put him on a parachute pack, and I was going to do a scene where he was going to parachute in, and I was going to have a little battle scene. Well, I shouldn't have used that actual figure on the parachute pack because he landed hard and that figure broke. I had to go get a new Hit and Run figure to replace him. But it didn't actually break during the review. So, but that scene was going to be for the review video, and that figure did break. Fortunately, I'd already finished the review before it broke. But that was kind of dumb, and I haven't done anything like that since. Hello, Ratface. Yeah, Jason, you guys are too fast to read. I read real slow. You gotta slow things down so I can keep up. I have to read everything phonetically and one letter at a time. Yeah, Alec, my poor hit and run figure. It was really dumb. It was like a dumb thing to do. And it was for like this long shot. It was just going to be the figure parachuting in at a distance. You wouldn't have even been able to tell that it was the hit and run figure. I could have used any figure for that. Could have used some junker figure just to be on the safe side. But So, I learned my lesson. And fortunately, I haven't broken anything during a review or before a review since then. Michael Bassett says on Saturday he acquired the RC Crossfire. Just need new tires and remote. That's cool. The Crossfire, I have the car for the Crossfire, but I don't have the rest of it. And that's one, it's going to take a little while to get that one ready for review, but it's a really interesting toy and a really unique addition to the line. Kind of this remote control car that really moves around, but it's like in universe and has a driver figure with the file card. Like it's an official release, not a licensed toy. And there are variants too, right? Because there's like the Alpha 29 and like the Delta 47 or whatever, the Alpha and the Delta one. And Chris got a mint on card ice cream soldier. That's awesome, Chris. Open it. Open it. Do it. You know you want to. And someone said hi to Delvis. Oh, there's Delvis. Hi, Delvis. How you doing? Oh yeah, JJ's Toy Room says ready for this Saturday. Well, he knows something that I know, but you guys don't know yet. I will put it up on Facebook here pretty soon, but it's looking like Susan and I are going to be in Dallas this weekend. And we should be stopping by Dallas Vintage Toys, the toy store, so that should be fun. Looking forward to seeing that place. Of course, I've seen their stuff online for quite some time, so I'll actually be able to stop by the place and check it out. So that's the plan for Saturday. Finally, we are getting out of town for a little while. It's for months. It's been just work, 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 work. Well, we're going to get out of town for a little while. We're going to go to Dallas. We're going to do several things, actually, but one of the things that we're going to do is stop by Dallas Vintage Toys, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Jason says, drive up the ice cream soldier value by opening it. I know you're joking, but there are some figures where, like, I got carded examples of that figure, and it was cheaper than, a mint loose complete example, even with the full card back. That does happen, especially for 90s figures. David Sharp asks if I've seen the Black Major Purple Snake Eyes. I think I have. I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of that. Green Yeti says, I'm feeling a bit down this week. Well, I'm sorry that you're feeling down. Seemed like it had been a pretty good week. The guy from Joe Fest stopped by the toy store, so that was a good thing. Hello, Mike Lopez. How you doing? No vintage toy stores in your part of the world. Well, that's too bad, because my understanding is kind of deserty there. So lots of cool desert vehicles, would be great there. So, hey, maybe you need to open one. there's the idea. You open one. Mark says, would I consider doing a cesspool review in the near future? Sure. I don't think I have cesspool ready yet. There's something I'm missing on cesspool, and I don't remember what it was. It might just be one of the accessories, or it might be a file card. I don't remember. I'll have to check. But there's something on cesspool that I'm missing, and it's not complete. I just can't remember exactly what it was. Project Dark Corp hasn't gotten any Joes for the year yet. Sorry about that, but he got some premium roleplay stuff. Cool. Oh, the Masked Rider, Kamen Rider series. Yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with it. That's not normally my thing, but I'm tangentially familiar with it. JJ's Toy Room says Dallas Vintage Toys ships anywhere. Dallas Vintage Toys ships anywhere. This is not a paid endorsement. Anyway, so I do have some stuff to show you guys. I just want to make sure that I say hello to everyone since folks are showing up. Mark Hoke, how you doing? Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm missing some of your chat, but I wanted to make sure to say hello to everybody, and I have some stuff to show you. I got some stuff. I got some cool stuff. So I'm going to start actually with, oh, what the heck. I'll start with this right here. I got something I got to show you. Hello, Mike Adams. Thanks, I'm glad you liked the review. Okay, I got this. Check this out. Hello, Mezzed Up One. How you doing? Okay. Just this week, I got this. Check this out. This is something I've been looking for a long time. This is the Vamp from the Vamp HAL 2-pack, the Sears exclusive. I have been trying to find one of these and trying to acquire one of these for a very long time. They're hard enough to find, and then of course they tend to run kind of expensive, so you know, the funds have to be ready at the same time you find one, you know what I mean? So it had been taking a long time to get one of these. I finally have one. I'm extremely happy about it. It's kind of a milestone. This is like one of the first like vehicle variants that I actually considered getting. And you know, since I started collecting years ago, you know, it's just been one of those that's been elusive. So anyway, for those of you who don't spot the difference, this is the standard issue 1982 Vamp. There are some differences between the 82 Vamp and the Sears exclusive Vamp. The most visible difference, of course, is the shovel on the hood. That, of course, that shovel was seen on a lot of later Vamp molds, like the Vamp Mark II and the Stinger, but this is the way you can get it on the green Vamp. So, yeah. And it seems like an awful lot of trouble to go through for a shovel, but I was very thrilled to get it. I was very excited. So that was cool. That I finally was able to nail that down. Hello, Man of Action. How you doing? And Roman. Thanks. I'm glad you appreciate the channel. I appreciate you being here. Painted plastic. It is not a green Stinger. There are some differences between this Vamp and the Stinger. This is, unlike the Stinger, it has a standard Vamp interior and dashboard and steering wheel. There is a variant that has a Stinger dashboard. This is not that one. But but there are also some molding differences from the Stinger as well. So it has the the classic jerry cans on the back, like the classic Vamp. The Stinger didn't have those, and just some other differences. So it's sort of in between. It's in between the original Vamp mold and the later molds that were used for the Stinger and the Vamp Mark II. Man of Action asks how things are going and if things are doing better. Things are doing a lot better. At the moment, I'm a little tired and exhausted, but it's just been a busy week at work, which is fine. Work is work, but at least it's manageable. Had some tough times not too long ago, but things have evened out quite a bit, so we're doing okay now. Thank you for asking. Jedi DB, thank you very much. I'm really excited about it. I mean, just the fact that I can hold this in my hands after so many years of looking for this thing, finally having it is a thrill. That patience pays off. David Sharp says, in Dallas, check out the Lost Toy Shop. I will try to. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to check out other shops, but I'll try to do what I can. I don't make it to Dallas very often, so I'll try to make the most of the trip. Jedi is still in hospital, but getting better. Well, get well soon. Get well soon. Okay, another thing I got to show you. One more thing. Well, sort of along the same lines as the Vamp. I've had the Battle Wagon actually for quite some time, and I've had it more or less complete, except this turret. This turret was broken. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, the turret was broken. And I've been looking to replace the turret, and I found one actually at our local toy shop. Hold on. I dropped the missiles. Anyway, so I found one, and even though I dropped most of the missiles out of here just now, it's more or less complete, and the turret has both of the hinges, but I didn't realize that the little piece that ratchets, well, that's not working. So I thought I got this thing complete finally, but it's actually still got a broken piece on it. That's a little bit annoying. JC says he needs a Robo Skull. Me too. Me too. Even though I'm not an international toy collector, there are some pieces that I'd like to get so that I can review them. Just a sampling of international toys. And that's one I wouldn't mind having. So anyway, that's what I have to show you. I have other stuff around me, but it's not stuff I got recently. Like I got my box for the Pack Rat missile launcher, and I got I got my snake armor. I needed to pull that out for a review recently, so that's what I got around me. Oh, hello, Songcrafter25. Nice to see you. From the Great North Woods of New Hampshire. Well, hello to the Great North Woods of New Hampshire from the United States. Thanks, everyone, for showing up. So yeah, that's my show and tell. I just wanted to show you this couple of things that I got recently. Getting real close to having the Battle Wagon done. Just gotta find an unbroken piece on that turret, and of course my baby. There are a few other things that I've gotten recently, but I can't show them to you right now because they are for reviews that are coming up in the immediate future, and I don't want to give away the surprise. Yeah. So that's what I got that's recent, at least that I can show you. So that was fun. That was some good stuff. I got some stuff coming in. And also, I did get a box of donated stuff, so there will be a February donation unboxing video. So, watch for that probably in early March. So I did get more stuff. I can't show all of it to you right now, but that's what I can show you. James says, greetings. Hello, James, and watched the Gung Ho video from a few years back. He's first Joe, and that was a necessary watch. Well, good. I hope you liked the review. I have like an older Gung Ho video, and I have a more recent one. That was one that I kind of redid, but I always liked Gung Ho. That was one of my favorites back then. Green Yeti, I'm sorry about the passing of your friend. That's always a tough thing to get over. So just remember to rely on friends and family for support. Hebrew says the Vamp Mark II is more like a Stinger than a Mark I. Yeah, that's true. There are beyond just like the shovel, there are some other differences in the mold. And yeah, those two are closer to the same. There are a ton of Vamp variants, just fun, and reissues, and it's kind of fun. I know a lot of people like to just collect the Vamps because there are so many to go after and so many to find. So it's kind of fun. Gemini needs Gung Ho with the bandana. I think there were two Gung Ho figures with the bandana. How I recovered, Land Down Under Bear asks if I've recovered yet from the Alley Viper review. Well, thanks for your concern. Actually, I did have to fall down quite a bit for that, and I had few bumps and bruises. After that, I set down pillows on the floor so I could land on something soft, but didn't really work very well. But these are the things that we do for the viewers. These are the sacrifices we make for comedy. Cobra Viper says the Vamp is one of the top 3 G.I. Joe vehicles. I think it should be up there. Yeah, it's a great vehicle. It's just a really nice, very versatile vehicle. I mean, it's very basic, but there's just so much that you can do with it. It's an essential vehicle. It's hard to do without a Vamp. It's kind of a necessity. Evan asks, what's your favorite Joe? His is Breaker. Well, Breaker was my first Joe. That was the first G.I. Joe figure I ever got as a kid, was Breaker version 1. My personal favorite, though, is Stalker. Don't get vertigo in your next review. Don't want you hurting yourself. Well, I'm happy to say that there won't be any falling over. No stunts in the next one, okay? No stunts. I really need a stunt double. In fact, that's what I should have done. I got other people in this house. Some of them are younger, and more nimble than I am, and they could have done the stunts. Gemini likes Flint. Flint, that's a good figure. The 85 Flint is a really cool figure. Yes, Hikaru, they're closer to the floor. Yeah, they're shorter. They wouldn't have as far to fall. Chad, this is the first time catching us live. Well, thanks for joining us. New Joe collector, any advice? That's a good question, Chad. My advice always is patience. Patience. Prices for Joe toys are getting a little bit out of control, but there are still good deals to be found. Just be patient. For example, if I can bring my new prize back into the screen again, this thing I have been looking for years. And it was just patience that allowed me to eventually get it. So take your time and while you're being patient, you can learn about the different items and ask the advice of other collectors. Make sure that you know what you're getting. So you're not just being patient; you're also learning and studying and making sure that you know what you're getting. That's a way to keep yourself from being ripped off or making any bad deals. So, but yeah, just be patient. Be patient. Yeah, Alec says eBay lots better per unit price. Yeah, that's correct. If you buy in lots rather than individual items, you end up paying less per figure or less per vehicle if you do it that way. I would advise, though, if you do that, try to find out which accessories or vehicle parts are hard to find, because if you get if you get a shell or if you get an incomplete vehicle that has that one piece missing that's the hardest to find, sometimes you can end up paying more than you would have if you had just purchased it complete by the time you find that hard to find part. Chris says he saw Predacon for $230 on eBay. That's unreasonable. That figure is not worth that much. Even a sealed example shouldn't be $230. That's highway robbery. Carl says, noticed at the Joe conventions they are very fair. I do like getting stuff at the conventions. It's nice to be able to talk directly with the dealer. It's nice to talk with somebody who usually, knows what he has. So it's good. It's good to do business with somebody who's knowledgeable and who is fair and give you a good deal. Anyway, so that's all my show and tell. What else I got? Oh well, okay. I got the pack rats. I got the 2 pack rats in here, and then the other one I actually keep the missile launcher pack rat in the box. So yeah, okay, that was my show and tell. So the show and tell was a shorter segment than I expected, but anyway, that's my new stuff. There is a video going up tomorrow, so do look for a video tomorrow. Michael Bassett says prices on the flag have been outrageous. Yeah. Yeah, one thing that I'm trying to do, and it's not something that this is not the way I ever intended to collect, okay? But I'm kind of forced into this corner, is like some of the more expensive stuff, I'm trying to get that stuff out of the way because the prices on those things just keep going up and up and up. And I'd like to nail those down before the prices just grow outside of what I can reasonably afford. Some of the more common stuff, some of it's still affordable, but I'm really glad that I got my USS flag when I did, because it would be more difficult to get now. Songcrafter says, what would you say would be a reasonable price range for a Scarlet figure? Like a Scarlet version 1 or version 1.5? I haven't priced it recently. I got mine for, both version 1, I think I got version 1 for about $20. That was several years ago. And then my version 2, my version 1.5, the swivel arm one, I think I got in a set. Yeah, I got a lot of figures, and it was in the lot. So I don't know what the actual price for that specific figure was, but a few years ago it was like maybe $20. But they've kind of gone up, and I don't know what they're currently going for. Kevin Murray mentions the semi-international Canada Sears release, Cobra Combat Set, MSV, the Black Vamp, and MMS. The Canadian Black Vamp and MMS, I've decided that's going to be outside of my scope It is Canadian, and by the way, let's give Canada credit. They are an actual. That's international. They're not a part of the United States, and most of them don't want to be. This Canada is is its own entity. Let's keep that in mind. But since it is international, it's not something that is within the scope of my collection. Form BX257 has reviewed that piece, and he's done an excellent review on that. So I will always refer people to Form BX257 for that. Yes, and speaking of Canada, and Form BX257 still one of my favorite G.I. Joe reviewers. I'm always happy when I see one of Kevin's videos go up. So one of the top reviewers for G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, is from Canada, which I think is actually kind of cool. And another big reviewer that we have is from Belgium, so that's also kind of cool. We got a whole international thing going on here. We got our own United Nations here. The Dreadnought Ground Assault and Air Assault Action Figure Expert asks, yeah, that is within the scope of my collection, and I don't have it yet, so that is something that I'll have to look at in the near future. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. The prices on those can be kind of crazy. But one thing that makes it a little better, little easier for me, is that I'm really just looking for something that is loose and complete. I don't need the box. So a lot of the boxes for those Sears exclusives can be crazy expensive. I don't need that, So it's a little cheaper if you're not looking for complete with the box and the blueprints and the all the inner packaging and all that other stuff. Pensive Ruin asks where Form BX257 is. He hasn't done a review in 3 weeks. I don't know. I hope that he's fine. Maybe I should see how he's doing. But I haven't heard from him. Yes, Gaz, yes, we cannot forget our boys from South Africa, G.I. Joe Bird. I actually think that it's fantastic that a lot of our great contributors to our fan community they are from around the world. And I think that's fantastic. That's great. That really kind of broadens our community. So I think that's really cool. Pensive Ruin asks about Sanitarium production. I do try to catch his videos when I can, and I do like what he does. He does a lot of the modern stuff, and I don't have a great knowledge of the modern G.I. Joe toys, so it's nice to get some information. I think he does a good job. Jason says it's probably cold up in Canada right now. That's a good point. Maybe Kevin is frozen. All right, somebody get some heat up north and thaw Kevin so he can give us some more videos. Peter is from Virginia, and Painted Plastic is from Virginia as well. Welcome to the show, Virginia, from the United States. Delvis says he's from New York, and it's like a different planet sometimes. Yeah. I'm not, and that's not a knock on New York. New York is great, but sometimes it does seem like its own thing. Kevin Murray says Toronto is only -10°C, but very snow-covered at the moment. Well, that's cold enough. That would be very cold to me. Anyway, what was I going to do? I was going to do something other than the show and tell. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask what everybody thinks of the Alley Viper, and see if we got any comments or input on the Alley Viper review. I have to say the Alley Viper review is doing very well as far as views go. The Alley Viper review has already surpassed the Tomahawk review from the week before. So apparently there are more people interested in the Alley Viper than the Tomahawk. So I have to give credit to Byron for that. I think he's the reason everybody showed up. So thanks, Byron. Yeah, I enjoyed doing the review. It was a lot of fun to work with Byron, so that was cool. And people seem to have responded really well to it, which is awesome. Now, whenever I review a figure that at least in my perception, may not be as popular a figure, then I always think that, well, the views will be kind of, not so great. But yeah, you never know. Some figures that I think aren't especially popular turn out to have a big fan following. So it's really nice to see lots of people enjoying the Alley Viper. Yeah. And see, Matt Rubin liked the Alley Viper. There's a groundswell. It's a groundswell. The next review is already done. All right, the next review is already recorded. I finished editing it. So now I'm working on the review after that. And I know what it'll be. I basically haven't written yet, but I have it written, but I haven't recorded it yet. So, Jay Straber says, I went to hit the Tomahawk thumbnail, got blinded by the Alley Viper thumbnail, and hit the wrong one. Well, there you go. See, that's how it happens. So anyway, I hope everybody likes the Alley Viper thing. Bishop says Alley Viper version 3 is nice. And I believe the Alley Viper version 3 uses the same mold as version 2. I like version 2. For Cobra Convergence, well, I think 2 years ago, Comic Tropes reviewed that Alley Viper version 2 figure, and then he sent it to me. So that's how I got that, and I think the black and yellow it's a really striking. Plus, I really like the Fang helmet face mask on version 2. Really cool looking. Roguish Paladin asks about the mustache/silly thing bit. How big of a fan of Weird Al and UHF? I'm a big fan of Weird Al and UHF. UHF is one of my favorite movies. I always share this anecdote that UHF was actually filmed in Tulsa, in my hometown. That movie is a hometown product. And a few years ago, for I think the 25th anniversary of the movie, Weird Al came back to Tulsa, and we had a screening of the movie. My daughter and I went to see Weird Al at the theater where they were screening the movie. It was a lot of fun. So that movie, it's just filled with kind of outdated cultural references, but it's pretty funny, and it's enjoyable. I like it. Yes, Jason is correct. The Outsiders was filmed in Tulsa as well, and that was actually written about Tulsa by a Tulsan. But yeah, we had like the Brat Pack here. We had Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze and Ralph Macchio and all those folks. They were all here in town shooting that movie back in the 80s. Bishop says Alley Viper version 4 and version 5 aren't bad at all. I will have to take your word for that because I don't remember what version 4 and version 5 look like. So I would have to look those up. Matt says he hasn't watched UHF in a long time. UHF was it's got a cult following now, right? It's still hilarious to me. Some of their jokes and their cultural references may be a little dated, but I still think it's funny. The Outsiders and UHF shared an executive producer. I did not know that, but that's good to know. That's probably how that happens. So yeah, this is not a town where we normally film a lot of movies, but we had a couple of good ones here. A couple. Draw Cabby, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says UHF is available on Amazon Prime, and of course I have it on DVD. I have the movie. Draw Cabby says he saw UHF in the theater opening weekend and loved it. Well, that's really cool. Now, I know I saw UHF in the theater too. I don't know if it was the opening weekend or not, but my recollection is it hit the theaters at the same time that there were some other really big blockbuster movies that were that debuted at the same time, and UHF made almost no money at the box office. It was a box office disaster, but I saw it. I thought it was hilarious, and of course, eventually when it came out on VHS, I had to have it, and then when it eventually came out on DVD, of course, I had to have it. Do a review of UHF. Well, if I could tie UHF to G.I. Joe in some way, I'd love to. Supplies! Oh yeah, there was a like a radio station, a college radio station that dedicated a supply closet to Weird Al. Pensive Ruin, anybody remember the Cobra Civil War comics and what were their numbers of each comic? I'm referring to the Cobra Civil War story arc in the Marvel series. That was, I think it started in issue, I want to say 73, or at least it was like ramping up in issue number 73, and it went through something like number 76 or 77, somewhere in that range. Yeah, he is Rambo, and that's sort of a joke. Good point, Hero. Good point. So let's just talk about UHF for the rest of the time. I got nothing. Since I mentioned it earlier, and again, I will put it on Facebook later, this weekend I will be in Dallas. I will be at Dallas Vintage Toys on Saturday at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if anybody's in the area would like to stop by, I should be there. Okay, so what you guys talking about? Yeah, Star Viper stealing the black boxes was in 72, which is what set it off. That's right. So it depends on whether or not you consider issue number 72 to be part of that story arc. You could. In fact, even though the Civil War doesn't start, I think, until the next issue, it wouldn't hurt to start reading with number 72 because at least that kind of sets it up. So yeah, I would start reading with issue 72 with the Star Viper story. I think that's a good place to start. G.I. Joe Puppet Show. All right. Hi, I'm Clutch. I sure do like the ladies. They like to swat them on the butt because it's the 80s and we don't have rules against sexual harassment. Where's Scarlett so I can do some butt slapping? There's my G.I. Joe Puppet Show. Hebrew says it's too bad it's Dallas instead of St. Louis. I've been to St. Louis, but it's been a few years. and St. Louis is a little farther away. But you know, if I could travel more, I'd love to go to St. Louis. My issue is time more than anything. You know, a lot of weekends are filled up with making videos, recording videos, editing videos, writing videos. So I have to find the time to take a break to go anywhere, which is not always an easy thing to do. But I love to travel. I would love to go to more cities and more states and more countries, but time is the issue. Yeah, Mark points out that butt slapping was Falcon. That's right. If I had that, would have worked a lot better if I had the Falcon figure with me. But yes, good point, Mark. Gerard says, any plans on reviewing what was my last Joe vehicle, the General? Well, the short answer is yes. I don't have the General yet, but that one actually has been on the radar. And since it's a large vehicle / playset, that may be one for a first of the year review. You know, I always try to start the year, first review in January with something big. And that may be a review for, you know, first review of the year, because it is really big. And, you know, I've been trying to make some progress on completing the Defiant, but if I don't have the Defiant ready to review at the beginning of next year, the General may be a candidate for that slot. So it's something I'm thinking about. Tony says we have to do the Swamp Masher this year. Yeah, you know, I feel bad for the Swamp Masher. I've put it up for a vote many times and it keeps losing. So I'm just going to have to do it, you know. Matt Rubin, yeah, the Defiant will definitely have to be a first of the year review. It'll have to be. I just don't know if I'm going to have it ready for the first of next year. That was my goal, but the thing has been harder to complete than I anticipated. Even though I have had some really great help from people who have sent parts to me, so thank you for that. That's been a big help. But as anyone who has tried to complete a Defiant knows, there are some parts that are just difficult to get. So we're working on it. But will it be ready by January? Well, you know, it's almost a whole year away. It's not impossible. I'm working on it, and if it's possible, I would love to have it ready for the next first of the year review. We'll just have to, you know, I've got a lot to do. Okay, Alec Tuttles gives us a little 6 degrees of separation here. Connect G.I. Joe to UHF. Chris Latta voiced Cobra Commander. Chris Latta appeared in an episode of Seinfeld with Michael Richards. Michael Richards was in UHF. There you go. QED, that's it. Nice work, by the way. Nicely done, Alec. Jason says I should do 30-year reviews each year. Yes, last year I did quite a few 1988. That's true. And, you know, oddly, this year I've got a few 1989s that are in the works. I'd love to do more in the 80s. In fact, this year I'm doing a lot of reviews for 80s toys. But, you know, I got to keep in mind there is a lot that I need to cover in the 90s, and, you know, I really got to get to them. So as much as I'd love to stay in the 80s, I'm going to have to knock out some of those 90s toys. Robert says we're going to end up doing like 2 years of nothing but 1993 reviews. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So, you know, we're having a real nice time in the 80s right now, but the time will come when I'm going to have to knock out a whole bunch of 90s toys, probably a whole bunch in a row. So, yeah, that's that's something that I have to think about. And this year, I have to admit, I haven't thought about it that much because I've been enjoying looking at some '80s toys. But it's all gonna come back to bite me. It's gonna come home to roost. The '90s will not be ignored. Draw Cabby has a more direct connection. Weird Al did a song in Transformers the movie. Yep. Yes, Cobra Commander was an episode of Transformers, I think, as Old Snake or whatever. But more directly, Chris Latta was the voice of Starscream in the animated series and in Transformers the movie. So there you go. There you go. B Bishop says, "Have you checked out HasLabs? There's the Defiant." I have not. I know that people have been talking about HasLabs quite a bit, but I haven't really had time to look into it. Yeah, that's right. Weird Al did a song about eBay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, rest in peace, Chris Latta. Thank you, Green Yeti. Chris Latta was very important to that animated series. Jason Karras says, "Do a quick shot on why you don't want to do Street Fighter." Well, that is not a bad idea. Oh, Byron says Weird Al signed his Smells Like Nirvana CD. That's cool. That's really cool. So yeah, somehow we got started about talking about Weird Al Yankovic, which is perfectly fine with me. That's a valid topic. And yes, anyone who picked up on that gag, actually, it was kind of all right. The idea of doing the gag was my idea, but Byron actually came up with how we actually, how it actually came out. That was really Byron's idea. So credit to him, and I hope everybody liked that gag. I thought it was funny, so hopefully everybody else did too. But yeah, the seed of that idea came from UHF. See, now I want to watch UHF. See, this is what happens every time I do a live stream. We go on these tangents, and then, I want to watch this movie, which I haven't seen for a while. Mark says, do the other two aliens from Star Brigade. I absolutely will. I don't know when I'm going to do them, but I actually do want to. I want to review them. Not because I love the figures, but because I think they will be interesting and kind of fun reviews, and so yeah, I will get to them. I'm just not sure when. Let's see. Alex says, would you appear on First We Feast Hot Ones YouTube series? They interview people while eating progressively hotter wings. Yeah, I would do that. I mean, you don't even have to interview me to do that. You go in there and ask Susan whether or not I eat hot wings. Go in there and ask her if I eat wings that are really too hot and I shouldn't eat them, but I eat them anyway. In fact, that doesn't even need to be a challenge. That's just my life. But even though I really shouldn't, for years and years I've told myself I've got to cut out the spicy foods. It really it makes me not feel very good. It's not a good thing for my innards. My intestines, they protest every time I do, but I can't get enough of it. I eat the spicy food anyway, knowing that I will be punished for it. G.I. Joe / Cobra versus Predator. Hey, there was that fan film. What was it called? There was a fan film a few years ago, a G.I. Joe fan film, and it had Predator at the end of it. It was kind of a crossover like that, G.I. Joe versus Predator. James says we should go to Hooters and get free wings on Valentine's Day. So are you inviting me to Hooters for free wings, James? Is that an invitation? Solid 12345 says, heartburn, my old enemy, we meet again. That is exactly the issue. Like everything in here feels like it's on fire, and I'm burning from the inside. But I just can't resist. I love spicy food. But one of these days I'm really going to stop. One of these days it's just going to get out of hand. I'm going to put myself in the hospital or something, and I'll have to stop. Hey, we're closing in on an hour. It looks like we got about 8 minutes left. So just a fair warning to everyone. I am going to try to keep this to an hour. I've really enjoyed the conversation here, guys. Thanks very much. And I hope you guys, I'm glad so many people liked the Alley Viper review. I'm very thrilled to be able to show you my new acquisition. We had a little bit of show and tell. We talked about Weird Al. Everything's good in the world. Now we're talking about the various problems that spicy food cause. Guys, all right, so now we're getting old, right? Because we're sitting here, we have like some of the most amazing toys ever made to talk about, like this pristine heavy artillery laser. And what are we talking about? We're talking about what our guts do when we eat spicy food. I think that's a sign that we're getting old. James says, HCC, I have the entire G.I. Joe comics series, including special missions, on CD. Okay, cool. Larry Hama sent it to me after I told him I could no longer hold the books to read them. Oh, well, that was nice. That's really nice, actually. That's cool. Larry does seem like a cool guy. And I have met Larry Hama before. Some of you have seen the picture. And he's not, sometimes in person, he's not, the warmest individual. Which I can understand. I think a lot of people like to approach him at conventions and stuff, and he can be a little standoffish, which I understand. But beyond that, he seems like a pretty cool guy and just incredibly smart. One thing that always strikes me about Larry Hama is how well read he is. That guy, he's very intelligent, which I appreciate, and I appreciate when he injects that intelligence into G.I. Joe. Songcrafter were aged like a fine wine, and of course now you got to drink some wine. That's how it works. We get started talking about these things, and then you got to have wine, and we got to watch UHF. That's how it works. Okay, Renegade says, HCC, I didn't answer a question about if I could do a review of the Cobra Scythe F-14. I don't know. I don't know is the answer. I'd have to see it. I'm pretty sure that is not in the vintage run, so it would have to be a special, divergence from our usual review. But I'd have to take a look at it. I would think about it, but I don't know. I don't have an answer for that right now. I'm not sure. Anyway, so yeah. I think recently, just talking about Larry Hama, since you guys are discussing it still, I think recently on Facebook I saw that he said he was kind of done with doing interviews because people just keep asking him the same question over and over, and I can get how that would be tedious. But I would still love to interview Larry if he would be amenable to that. I think I might have a few questions that are not asked too frequently, but he's injected some layers into G.I. Joe that I'm still exploring and discovering. So I have to give him credit for that. Tony Jackson, Flint Dilley seems to like my Transformers background more than Joe. Unfortunate. Yeah, well, I think Flint Dilley was involved. I don't know if he was involved more in Transformers, but I think he's known more for Transformers. Oh, Mark's going to be a grandpa. Well, congratulations, Mark. Congratulations indeed. Yeah, it looks like we're going to wrap it up in about 3 minutes, guys. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'll have to go eat something. But it's been really cool talking to everyone today. This has been a fun live stream for me. And again, I apologize because I haven't kept up with the live chat very well. I apologize for that every time. It happens every time, so sorry about that. But thanks everyone for showing up. This has been really fun. I've really enjoyed this interaction. Yeah, it's been really nice to talk to anyone. If anyone is in the Dallas area and would like to hang out at Dallas Vintage Toys on Saturday at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I should be there. Once again, letting everybody know that. There's a video coming up tomorrow, so watch for a new video tomorrow afternoon. See, what else is coming up? We got a review coming up on Sunday. I've already recorded it. It's already edited. It's all ready to go. Those of you who are on Patreon, you should get your early access. And the review that is coming up next is an actual pretty rare toy, okay? I said this year would be the year of the rarity. We haven't reviewed anything rare yet, so it's time to review something that's at least a little bit rare, okay? So look for that on Sunday, so that should be hopefully enjoyable for you guys. So, at least for now, I guess it's about time to wrap it up. Thanks everyone. I guess I'll go ahead and shut it down now. I'll go ahead and say goodnight to everyone so I can go have some food. But we will do this again next week. This has become like my favorite time of the week is to get to sit down in here and interact with you guys live. So thank you. So anyway, I'll say goodnight to everyone. Everybody have a good week. I will see you again next week. And for the moment here, I will press this little button here to turn this thing off.